Hey everyone, this is Miss Kathy, and I have Marty from Down the Wrabbit Hole Travel Channel, and we are so excited to get into our talk about her travel experiences. And I want to thank you for joining me today, Marty.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and hello to everybody that's here already.
Let's recognize who the chat is. We have Gemma. Hi, Gemma. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Gemma is in the UK, and Marty is in Canada, right? What part of Canada are you from, Marty?
I'm in Alberta, so I'm way over on the western side of Canada, just north of Montana.
Okay, yeah. I've never been to Montana, but I am not a traveler like you are. So I'm looking forward to hearing all about your experiences.
Limited as they are.
Oh, I don't think so. Not from what I've been seeing on your channel. So we have Dwayne. Hello, thank you for joining us. He is in Alberta as well.
Hey, Dwayne. Thanks for coming.
And Stephanie from Best Friend. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Steph.
Awesome. So Marty, my first question when I first met you was, how is she doing this with little ones? But since I've gotten to know you, I realized that you did a lot of traveling before the kids as well.
Yes, yeah. Most of my traveling was before the kids. It's very sporadic now that they've been born. But yeah. My husband and I would try to go on 1 or 2 big trips every year back when we were childless. And now we're just like, if we can fit in a family trip once a year, then we're happy.
Oh, so you really do only travel once a year. I was thinking that you traveled like every 3 months.
Oh God, I wish, but no, it's, I try and organize, like we do a lot of little road trips. We live really close to the Rocky Mountains. So we're very lucky that way because it's really gorgeous. And we're about a 4-hour drive into the next province over. So we do lots of little road trips like that. But as for like international trips, it's probably only once a year if we're lucky.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we have not traveled with Jesse for 3 years, but we are going to Mexico in April.
Right.
I'm really looking. Yeah.
You said Cancun, right?
What?
You said you were going to Cancun? Is that the area?
Yeah, or maybe it's I never can say it right. Riviera Maya?
Okay. I haven't been to that area of Mexico yet.
Yeah, I believe it. I can't remember, to tell you the truth. This trip fell in our laps, spur of the moment. My daughter was invited to go with friends. And we originally thought it was, sure, you can take her along, awesome. But then we realized we were actually paying for her portion too. And we were like, well, heck, if we're going to pay for her to go, we're going to go too. So that fell into our laps, and I'm so excited because the last time we traveled to something like that was when our 3 boys were young. My 3rd son was 4, and so we had 8, 6, and 4 traveling. That's
busy, but not impossible.
Yeah, for someone who doesn't travel, I mean, I'm afraid to go to the airport, and I don't even. The first time I flew alone was in 2014, and I'd never even called a taxi cab in my life. So I was like, that was only 4 years ago. You're a grown woman, like can't even call a cab. So that was scary for me. So when I see someone who's had your experience in travel, I'm totally impressed.
Yeah, I love it. I do get a little bit of flight anxiety. I didn't used to, but now that I've got kids, like to have an accident now would be just devastating. So I do get a little bit of flight anxiety, but so far so good. So,
do you have is it to the point where you have to take something for it, or you just talk yourself?
No, I mentally talk myself out of it. But when the plane hits turbulence or something, I'm grabbing those handles
Oh, wow.
And I never used to be like that until I had kids. But now you think about, well, what if something happened and I don't want my kids to grow up without a mother, and then I get all freaked out, and I wish I wouldn't think along those lines.
But yeah, I went to school only 4 hours away in college, and I haven't traveled much my whole life. I'm one of 8. So we went, tenting. like an hour away in a tent or a camper. That was the base of my travel even as a child. But before we went to Hawaii, that was the first time in 1992, my husband and I went to Hawaii for our honeymoon, and Hurricane Iniki came. This is the time before cell phones, before calling home. I'm 23, going away to a pretty long trip for the first time ever. And I remember waking up completely jet lagged, but my husband decided that he was going to just take a run. And our hotel, you could see the Diamond Head Mountain. And so he never came back. It was 6 hours. And I woke up the day of arriving after my honeymoon, and I don't know where my husband is. And I can't call him on cell phone. Yeah. And he finally came back, but he got lost. He's like, well, I went to run towards Diamond Head, and I didn't realize how far away I had gotten. So,
you're picturing him getting shoved in the trunk of a car somewhere.
I mean, honestly, I wasn't thinking that, because it's not like in the time we are now. But in hindsight, I look back to that. And I mean, my travel experiences are very minimal, but they've always had a lot of craziness about them. 2 days later, here Hurricane Iniki came. They're shipping us off the island because a hurricane's coming, and hurricanes don't happen in Hawaii. I think it had been 25 years since one had come again since then. So Dwayne says, my sister, her husband, and their son and daughter went to Cancun in the very early 1990s. Stephanie has never flown.
Never?
Wow. I mean, Stephanie, that is not surprising to me, because I too have flown very, very little. More so these last 6-7 years than I ever have. Dwayne says, I'm quite scared of heights. It's, what, my chat is off to the side a little bit. Let me pull it so I can read the rest. It is a paternal thing. On my maternal side, one of my relatives is an astronaut. Oh, wow, that's pretty exciting. He is in the Canadian Air Force. One of his hobbies is rock climbing. Wow, that's exciting, Dwayne. Now, Marty, I'm not familiar with Dwayne's channel. Do you know Dwayne? Is he coming from your
Dwayne's
side?
just north of me in Edmonton. So yeah, he's kind of my neighbor.
Very
sort of,
cool.
kind of. Yeah, I've never met him personally, but I think it would be cool if I did one day.
But you're familiar with his channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a new connection for me, and that's kind of cool when we can get together. And that's my goal, is to hopefully get other channels connected with other channels. And
Dwayne is an interesting guy, so
yeah, and learn the person behind the channel as well. Happy Hunter, hello. And Dwayne also says, I've flown in airplanes, yet I'm scared of heights. Yeah, and ATJH Travels, they are another traveling family, and I love them so much. Are you familiar with ATJH?
Pardon?
Are you familiar with the ATJH Travel channel?
Yes, I am, definitely.
Okay. They're gonna rewatch on the flip side at work, but had to say hi. Thank you so much. That's very appreciative. So.
Oh, Dwayne, I didn't know you weren't an Edmonton native, but you're there now, right, Dwayne? I'm sure you're there now. I don't know where to put my phone to see the chat.
Oh, that's a good idea to read it from your phone. This is kind of a new setup I have for me, and I was really hoping that my microphone was supposed to arrive yesterday, but I got the Amazon email saying that it was behind, so I'm going without the mic. I had a Yeti last Wednesday and returned it. I'm wanting to get a lavalier mic so I can.
I just used the one on my laptop. I'm too cheap.
The internal mic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm using too. And it sounds fine.
I guess if I got more into live streaming, then maybe I would get a better setup. But if I would do it once a week, if that, there's really no point.
Yeah. I
mean, I'd rather get like a nicer camera.
More than I have, but I'm hoping to start live streaming, of course.
It's fun. I like the interactiveness of it.
Yeah, I do too. I really do too. Stephanie says she has a camper. That's our style too. My parents have a camper and we use it quite often.
Yeah.
So
tell
me your travel history. Like, let's start from the beginning. What brought you into wanting to be a traveler? Like, where did you go first and how old were you?
Well, 16 was my first taste of it. since I was 13, maybe, I'd had this pen pal over in England, a boy. And I was like wildly in love with my idea of him and all of our letters back and forth. And they weren't like mushy letters, but I just had this big crush on my pen pal. And after 3 years of writing to him, my parents were like, you should go visit him. And so I thought we were all going over, and I was 16. And no, they just sent me by myself to visit this boy. So they must have had a lot of trust in me.
Okay, so back up. So when you were 13, you emailed him? Or you were pen paling at 13 and met him?
He was a family friend. Like, we met at a birthday party of a family friend, and he had come over from England, and we got along really well that night. We played computer games. Like, we were just kids.
Yeah.
And so we wrote letters, and then I had this big crush. We went over there. We fought like cats and dogs. We couldn't stand each other. But I really liked his friends. So, I mean, the week was fine. And he did take me, he took me to the Tower of London and London Bridge and all that kind of stuff. And then I stayed with another friend for a while, and I got to go to like the countryside of England, and they took me to Disneyland Paris as a surprise, which was really cool. And so that was my first trip ever officially. And I loved it. And we went to Texas for Christmas that same year. So when I was 16, I did a lot of travel. And then I didn't go anywhere until I was 27. So. Oh,
wow. Well, I mean, schooling, I'm sure.
Yeah. School and life and saving up for a house and getting married and blah, blah, blah. But at 27, there was a teachers convention down in New Orleans. And I'm a
that's someplace I would like to go. I've never been.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. And I was like, as a first-year teacher, there's no way I'm going to get picked to be one of the teachers that goes down to this conference. But they picked me, and I had the time of my life. And after that, I was like, that's it. I'm hooked. I want to see the world. So.
Oh, wow. Hi, Unknown Trail. He's coming in. Welcome. I'm excited to hear more about the out of country and having a passport kind of a thing. Like when did you need your passport? I guess when you were young. Did you need a passport back then?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And then because I was under 18, my parents had to sign a bunch of documents and stuff for me to go by myself. But it was, I think, fairly simple. But yeah, you can get a 10-year passport now, so you don't have to worry about constantly renewing it. And then yeah, you just go.
We just got passports to go in April, my husband and Jesse and I. So
yeah, and you're going to Mexico, which you don't need a visa or anything like that. Like some countries, before you go, you should just look up, make sure you don't need a travel visa. You have to apply for those beforehand.
And that's not the same as a passport?
No, it's like it's a document that allows you entry into the countries, because some countries control how many people they allow in.
Wow.
So, but Mexico is not one of those. I've never been to a country actually that required a visa. If I get that trip to Kerala that I was begging everybody to nominate me for, then I would need, because they do visas there. So.
Let's talk about that. So Marti, for those of you who are watching and who might be watching on the replay, started out as a travel blogger. I know. About the same time I started on YouTube in 2010?
2010, yeah.
And you tell them. You tell it better. I mean, I already know, but I want them to know.
Oh, well, it stemmed from me traveling like through school and with my husband and stuff. But I actually, kind of like a health story. I had cancer. I had thyroid cancer. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where the whole blog stemmed from in 2009. Because we were wanting to have kids. So I went into the doctor to just do a physical, make sure everything was kosher. And he was just checking my lymph nodes, and he ran his hands down my neck and he said, your thyroid's bigger than normal. We should check that out. I was like, oh, I trust you because I don't know what a thyroid's supposed to feel like. But he was right. I went and had a scan done, and I had some lumps. So they took biopsies of them, which were like jam needles in my throat while I was still awake. It was horrifying.
Oh, wow.
And it turned out that they were
before your children, because you were wanting to have children.
Yeah. So I had
three. Sorry, I didn't recognize you when you came in.
Hello. Yeah, so I had 3 lumps that were growing. They were all over 1 centimeter. So they were like, we don't really think we can just take them out. And I was like, we'll just take the whole thing then. So they took the thyroid, and I had to go through like radiation treatment, and it was a whole saga. And we had to put off having kids for 3 years before we could even start again, just with the diagnosis and the treatment. And then I had to wait a year after the radiation. And so we were kind of thinking we might never have kids because we were having troubles before. So we thought we're going to start traveling more. We're going to see the world. We're going to like check off our bucket list because that was kind of like life is short wake up call. And so that's when I started writing the blog. So that's where it kind of stemmed from. But we got the all clear. Now we've got 2 kids that are crazy. So it all worked out.
Oh, wow. So, okay. So you said you traveled again when you were 27. How old were you when you found out you had thyroid cancer?
28.
Okay. So where did you travel before that?
Well, I got diagnosed in 2009. I think. I'm not good at math. It was around there.
I'm not either. That's why we're both like English history type teachers.
I think it would have been 2009 because I was just about to get my surgery done, but I was the group leader for a school trip that I had organized because I was teaching my junior highs about the Renaissance in social studies, and they were so into it and so excited about it that I asked my principal, do you think there's any way the district would allow us to take a bunch of 12 and 13-year-olds to Europe so they could experience the Renaissance firsthand? And she was like, you can try. So I had to write up this 20-page proposal document outlining how I would keep these kids safe, what I wanted them to see, what I thought they would learn out of it. And the district said yes. And so we did a ton of fundraising because it was just a small rural school. They weren't like wealthy people. So we did lots and lots of fundraising. And I took, how many was it? 23 junior highs and 9 chaperones or something. And I took them all over to Europe, the principal and I. And we did London, we did Paris, we did Florence, and we did Rome. And these kids
had still in contact with the kids that went.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, last year, 3 of them were back in Rome, and they took a picture in front of the Colosseum, and they Snapchatted me from Rome and said, "Wish you were here," because that's the last time we were in Rome.
You, I'm sure, made a big impact in their lives by doing that.
Lots of them are travelers now. I had 2 of them just spent a bunch of time in Thailand, and they were messaging me from Thailand. And
oh wow, they're all inspiring. That is so really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I actually had another one planned for Peru, but that fell through, sadly. But.
So are these kids aware that you're a YouTuber?
Yeah. Some of them are on my Instagram, and I don't know if they follow me on YouTube, but yeah, some of them do know.
Hi, Angel. Thank you for coming. Angel Dominique is here. Yeah, so really cool. That's really cool. And I know being a teacher and having an impact like that on other people's lives is a passion that most teachers have. So I'm sure that if that could be my full-time job, chaperoning kids on school trips like that, I would take that up in a heartbeat. Is that the only one you've done that year, or did you do some in the future?
Well, we did that one that year, and then we had to wait because of the way the curriculum rolls at our school. We had to wait a while, and we didn't want to go back to Europe, but we were doing the Spanish and the Aztecs, and so we were going to go down to Peru. It's not quite Aztecs, but it was the only trip that was close enough with that company. But only about 8 or 9 kids signed up for that, so they had to group us with a larger school, and the larger school pulled out, and they couldn't find another school to connect us with, and so they had to cancel it. And then I got pregnant and stopped teaching.
That's a good thing too.
Yeah,
that's a good thing too. Patsy says I look like Rob Hoffman with my glasses on. I can always count on Patsy to be so truthful with me. Thank you, Patsy. That's okay. I can be Rob's sister. I like Rob. Rosorian Beck, thank you everyone for stopping by my stream earlier. I decided to stop game streaming. Aw, don't think they're right for my channel. More regular stream for now. Oh, well, I thought you did a great job, Rosorian Buck. Never know. It's always good to try something. So don't get don't get discouraged right off. I'm going to take a quick, fast break away from my camera. My little doggy wants back in the house. Just a sec.
If we should all take a moment to let Miss Kathy know that her house is beautiful and she does not have to change the color of her walls.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Quit criticizing Miss Kathy. She can't take it for very long. What were we? I wanted to talk to you.
Ralph's Trucking is here too. Hey, Ralph.
Ralph's Trucking and More. See, you're bringing in channels that I'm not connected with, and that's really cool. So everyone, make sure that you mingle and check out each other's channels as well while you are here. It's fun to connect and interact. Marty and I were both saying that is why we like live streams, is that you can interact with people from all over the world. That's really cool.
There, see, everyone likes your house and your walls.
Patsy says my house is beautiful. Well, thank you, Patsy. Yeah, well, my house has been a long time in decorating. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother blog. I don't have control over decorating my home until about, like, I've been in this house 21 years, and my husband's, I don't know what it is. It's just that it's a marriage thing where he wanted to control everything versus paint, furniture, everything. And
really?
I kind of took a stab at it and said, no, finally, I want it my way.
We're the flip side. I have control over the house, how I want it to look. I mean, Joey gets input and stuff, but he's spatially, how do I say it? Like, he can't figure out spatial things. So the last time I let him buy a furniture set, he bought this chair. It was only supposed to be like a tiny little chair to fit in the corner, like a reading chair. And he bought this chair 3 times the size of what I wanted. And now we have to like weave around the furniture in our living room because it takes up all the space. I was like, that's it, you're done. He has one room in the house he's allowed to decorate, and that's the basement bar.
Oh, wow. Well, the night you wallpapered, Chris would have just flipped. The way your husband walked in that room the night we were hanging out. For those of you who don't know, Marty decided on a whim to wallpaper her home live. And so I popped on and I was like, and she
at like 10 o'clock at night.
And you'd not done it. And she's like talking about slapping glue on the wall and everything. And I was like, no. And so we had a good time that night. But your husband and your children came home in the process of you standing up on the wall, holding this strip of wallpaper. And he was just like right there to help you. Like it was no big deal.
He's used to it. I came home one day with 4 gigantic IKEA shelves. And I'm like, we're doing this to the wall. We're going to put shelves here, and then you're going to build a fireplace here, and you're going to make me a mantle, and that's what's happening. And I've already have 2 of the shelves built, so we can't take them back. And he just rolls with it.
Oh, wow. That's really sweet. Yeah, Angel says that's sweet.
He is. He's a good guy.
So back to your travel, because I am one that will get sidetracked very easily. So
me too.
So what comes next? So you have your thyroid treatment, and that goes well, thank God. You were able to get cured from that. I'm sure that is this something that you have to keep monitoring?
Yeah, well, because I don't have a thyroid anymore, I have to take a medication to replace the thyroxine. So every 3 months, no, every 9 months, every 3 refills, they have to retest my blood to make sure that my levels are good. And while they're doing that, they test for T4 cells just to make sure nothing weird is happening.
Wow. So does that affect your traveling?
No, I just have to make sure my prescription's nice and full before I go somewhere. So.
Right. What would you recommend everyone do for checking, like when you're getting ready to travel on a trip? I mean, do you have a blog where you give people a checklist of things they need to do? And I mean, is that something that you do or recommend?
Huh? That's a great idea, because I will make one, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm a list maker. So once we have solidified that we're going somewhere, even if it's not for like 3 more months, I start writing everything out. Like I'm the girl that does PowerPoints of what we're going to do each day on our trip. And I figure out walking distances between locations. And so, yeah, I start writing a list right away. Like I'm hoping I don't know if it's going to happen, but I've been begging my husband in May if we could maybe go to Jamaica, because I really want a beach. And so I already have started a list of things to pack. We haven't even booked it yet. I don't even know if we're going to go.
Have you been to Jamaica?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, there you go. I've been to Jamaica. I can't believe I've actually been somewhere where you haven't, being not a non-traveler.
What part did you go to?
We went to, it was a sandals resort. I don't know. I think there's a couple sandals resorts, but I don't know where they are other than in Jamaica.
Okay.
When I was
at Montego Bay.
My husband.
Pardon? Sorry.
Wait, what did you just say?
I said we're looking at Montego Bay.
That's where we went. That totally sounds familiar. Okay. Well, my husband surprised me when I turned 30, and we had 2 of our boys already, and they were very young, like 4 and 2. And he surprised me. And that was nerve-wracking, being away from your family and thinking, what if something happens? Both parents are going away and you're leaving your children at home. I mean, what if the plane crashes, right? And then children are parentless. So that was scary for me, but I enjoyed Jamaica a lot. I really did. Stay in your resort. When you get off of your resort, it's a completely different experience. That's all I can say.
I never stay in the resort.
Well, and that might be something that, what I remember is you have vendors and they're very pushy. So as soon as you go across the street from a resort, you have people already in your face wanting to buy, complimenting you. Let me braid your hair. You need a new purse. You need this. And they're just bombarding you. And you're just like, no, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah. So if you do decide to go over there, don't let them know you have cash because they will definitely figure out a way to get it out of you.
Yeah, it's like that most places though, Kathy. Like in Paris, under the Eiffel Tower, we called them the bling bling boys, but they sell mini souvenir, like mini statues and keychains, and they will follow you. Like literally, they'll follow you into the bathroom. Yeah, like harassing you, but you just keep saying no.
By the way,
my dog. Like when we went to Chichen Itza, same thing. I had a guy follow me around with this like massive stone jaguar that my suitcase would have been overweight completely had I bought it. And I kept telling him, no. And he kept dropping the price. He was basically giving it to me for free. And I was just like, no, I'm not. It's too heavy. I don't want it. It's like it everywhere.
Oh, wow. So see, I mean, here I'm thinking that's something new that I can teach you, but Angel says she would not like that. Straw market. Ralph's Trucking and More says straw market. Is that what they call them? Unknown trail. My roof had a small leak today. That's what scares me about traveling. It's hard to leave your home when you travel. I mean, that is an anxiety that I have anytime. That's why I want to be home all the time. I don't like leaving my home for even a day or two.
Yeah, that's always a worry. We were in Las Vegas for New Year's one year, and we had a neighbor watching our pets, and our dumb cat got out. And it happened to be that week that we were away. It was like a cold snap, and it was like -42 or something. And our cat was outside, and she couldn't find him. She couldn't get him to come back in, and he was out for the whole week. And we were freaking out, and we were away. But we got back, and he was fine. He had a little bit of frostbite on his ears, but he was okay. We took him to the vet, and he was okay. But
oh wow, yeah.
I mean, that could have happened if we were at home too, right? So
yeah. A couple of years ago, my sister-in-law got married in Florida, and we went. And we have cameras in our home, so we can see what's going on and stuff. And my parents were taking care of Trooper. Or actually, I had my niece come and stay at the house, but she got scared and didn't end up wanting to stay by the time that night came. So she went home, and so they were just going to agree to come back and forth. But I'm thinking, no, Trooper sleeps with us. There's no one there at night. That's what I wanted mostly. I mean, during the day, I go shopping or I'm gone, but at night I wanted someone with the dogs, and they weren't here. And that was hard for me because I'm up at night watching the camera, looking at my dog.
Feeling guilty.
My husband's like, go to bed. He's fine. I'm like, but he's there all alone. So it's hard to leave your home. So, but you don't have traveling tips on your blog? I'm so surprised.
I don't have like a packing checklist one, which that's such a good idea. I'll do that. But whenever I write a post, I put tips about that location. Like,
Okay.
Here's what time you should get there to beat the crowd, or, watch out for the street vendors at this location. If you touch the rose, you'll have to pay for the rose, that sort of thing. But
okay, well, that's good. For people who travel to that location, that's what you're promoting, that location and things that they need.
Yeah, I mostly focus on very specific things. So like if I go to Rome, I'm not going to write a post just on Rome. I write a post on the Trevi Fountain, and then I'll write a post on the Colosseum. And then you can put together your itinerary based on the things that I describe, whether or not you like what you've read. That's kind of my goal. Because I don't like those travel videos where it's just like Cancun, and then it's like videos of people scuba diving and laying on the beach. And that doesn't help me plan a trip, I want stuff that tells me hours, admission rates, advice, if it was so crowded or not, food,
Do you want to, I had a moderators the last week when I was streaming, and I thought I had Angel as a moderator, and now she's showing not. So I'm adding her, and I added you. If you want to put a link to your blog, try to do that in the chat. I do have a link to Marty's channel in the description of this live stream, but I didn't put the blog in there. So you guys
I should show you. Speaking of packing lists, my sister's probably the most supportive person of my travel stuff. She thinks it's really cool, my youngest sister. And for Christmas one year, she just bought me a whole bunch of travel stuff. And one of them was a packing thing. I'll just grab it.
I love your bedspread.
Thank you. So it's one of these things that you pre-purchase, but I thought it was really cool. There's like 100 of them on this pad, but it goes through your basics. So like reading for the plane, gum, earplugs, that sort of thing, a sleeping pillow for the plane. I'll go through clothing, what you might need, your hygiene items. So this is where I would have like medications and things to remind you of. Miscellaneous, like, I don't know what's got on here, an umbrella, your house keys. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. So I haven't actually even opened it yet, but
that is very cool. I have a pack list that I made myself, and I like all kinds of lists like that. But that is neat. So she purchased that somewhere?
I think she got it at Chapters. Do you have Chapters down in the States?
No, I'm not.
Like a big giant bookstore.
Okay,
but I should make something like this.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Yes, you definitely should.
Sorry, Angel said something about packing too.
Yeah, packing lists are great. The only thing that I could probably provide people on are dorm packing lists, because I've sent 3 kids to college. So
that's actually probably a really useful post.
I've shared it with other moms, going through, like, I'll see posts on Facebook from, because I teach and I substitute now. So I have a lot of acquaintances with different age groups of parents, because I sub K through 12. So when I see like the seniors and the juniors moms, I'm always wanting to throw out my ideas and encouragement. Oh, you need to do this and you need to do that. Senior pictures are coming up. Oh, you're going to need this for when they go to college next year. And so
I do like a high school mom handbook.
Yeah, I could definitely contribute there. That's for sure. I try to just have it when it hits me, like at the moment when someone, needs my help or my advice. Like, that's my channel, Gamut of Life. I was talking to Patsy Houlihan about that, and we were trying to come up with the slogan of my channel, and I'm like, yeah, there's just so many different topics that I could hit on.
You're never going to run out of ideas for your videos.
Yeah, I hope not. And I love talking about the travel, and I think that is a great idea that you add that to your blog. And so tell everybody how you went from blogging to vlogging.
When was it? 2011, I started to take more videos of my trips. I finally had a camera that had video function on it. But when you upload it into Blogger, that's the platform that I use, it stores it on their server, but when you replay it, it's really slow, really choppy, really grainy, and it doesn't play on mobile devices. So I was like, well, this isn't good because half of my readers can't actually see the video. So I started using YouTube as a way to just like a repository. So I'd upload it to YouTube and then I would embed it in my blog, and then it worked a lot smoother. But I was never really into improving the videos. I didn't really care about my YouTube channel. It was just a place to store things for the blog. And then not last year, but the year before, like 2017, I started watching some of my older videos. I'm like, these are garbage. They're awful. Yeah. So I was like, I need to really work on this, because I was noticing that people were watching my videos more. Like I looked at my video on the Grand Bahia Principe Tulum Resort, had over like 50,000 views. And I was like, that's way more than what my blog gets. So it kind of, the light bulb came on, and I was like, people like videos more than they like reading a blog post. So in 2017, I made a little goal to start improving my videos. And so like in the fall, closer to the end of the year, I started looking up, I don't know, like Peter McKinnon and all those guys that do really beautiful videos, and started literally taking notes. I have a binder. I took myself to school, basically. I made notes.
Wow.
And I have tabs. And I just tried to improve. And then in 2018, that letter came because I had just gotten monetized as well in 2017. Oh, and then that email came that said, oh yeah, you're getting demonetized unless you have this many subscribers and watch hours. And so then I thought, I'm going to work hard and improve my YouTube channel. And so 2018 was like the year of YouTube. I spent so much time on YouTube.
Yeah, don't we all?
And now I've neglected my blog. So now I got to try and find balance.
So your blog is now kind of coming back into play. This is where the contest is, or is the contest with your YouTube channel?
They didn't really say. They just said whatever social media outlet that you prefer to use. Like if I was an Instagrammer, they would be looking at my Instagram page. But so I had people submit both. Like if you want to submit the blog, you can. If you want to submit the YouTube channel, you can. But I need to work on my blog a bit more. I haven't
Tell everyone that is here about your contest, and do you have a link to that too that you can put in the chat? Because I know
the nominations are over. So
it's over?
Yeah, now we're just waiting to hear.
Oh, okay. Well, tell everybody what it is that you did.
Well, this is my 3rd year applying to this. I keep losing, but it's a press trip that sends 30 bloggers from around the world to, I can never say it right, Kerala, India, which is on the coast of India. And they take you from the south to the north, and you go through the backwaters. So you get to go on these little like barge boats down the canals. They take you to tea plantations. I don't know, it's just beautiful. I've entered for 3 years now. And the last 2 years was a voting system. So I had to beg people for votes. And last year, it looked like I was going to get it. I was in the top 20 last year. And then right at the very end, all these people came out of nowhere with like 5,000 votes. And there was a huge scandal because people had bought votes. They had purchased these fake votes, and they won. And there was even an article, if you look it up, somebody was bragging on the trip about how they bought their votes and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't like contests like that where even when they have like the beautiful baby contest, and it's a matter of like how many friends voted for that person.
Exactly.
It's not really.
Or if you pay for votes, like, are you willing to pay $30 for 1,000 votes? Probably, if you're going to get a free trip.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm never entering it again. That's garbage. Yeah. But this year they changed it up, and it was, you just get nominated, and the number of nominations you get helps, but it was all anonymous. So numbers really didn't matter. And then they were just going to look at your writing style, your consistency, your fan base, that sort of thing.
Right. So when will you hear if you won?
I don't know. I check every day.
High Ability Mom of Two and S2W Themes came in the chat. Hello. Thank you, Enzo.
Yeah.
She says, it's good to see you two together.
Yeah, this is nice. It's relaxing conversation.
Yeah. So yeah, you got to check every day to see if you're going to get to win. Now, when will it be? When it's scheduled for?
March 20th, they say.
Oh, the 19th is my birthday. Oh, wow. So you might be in India. Now, will your husband just stay home with the kids then, or?
I've already kind of talked to my mom. She's on standby because my kids love going out to my parents' farm. They have a farm out by like the Drumheller area where all the dinosaurs are. I don't know if you know anything about Alberta, but they love it out there. So my mom's kind of just waiting to hear if she's going to have the kids for a week or not. But we'll see.
Ralph's Trucking and More says, you will win. I have a feeling. All right, we need to claim that.
Thanks, Ralph. And if I don't win, because I'm used to it, because I haven't won the last few times, I'm still just, lots and lots of people sent me messages saying that they nominated me, and a couple people showed me what they'd written. One made me cry. They'd written such lovely things. So even just that makes me feel really good.
Yeah, that's cool. I hope you win too. I think that's exciting. So
it's such a beautiful area.
That's very cool. Enzo says, wishing you lots of luck. Hope you win.
Thank you.
Very cool. I didn't realize the contest was over.
Yeah, nominations, whatever, it's kind of the same. Ended February 5th.
Okay. Wow, and you still don't know? How long are they going to make it?
I don't know. I saw the first year I entered, I think they gave people like 2 weeks notice. So I hope they don't do that to me. I'm like, I got to book flights. I got to get a visa. I got to find childcare.
Oh, wow. So yeah, so they don't even have your flight information for this trip or anything. You're going to have to do all of that on your own?
Yeah. So you book the flight and then they reimburse you later.
Okay. Wow. Oh yeah, they definitely need to give you more time.
I'm speaking like I've won, but I don't have to worry about it at all.
Speaking like you've won. You do. You need to prepare yourself. You need to just claim it. Positive vibes all the way.
Well, if not, then I will really beg my husband for Jamaica.
Aw. And when is that one scheduled for?
That wouldn't be till May. I mean, we haven't booked that one yet either. But
and you're bringing the kids on that one too, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. My kids are like, I want to go on a plane. I want to go to the beach. They're ready for a holiday more than me probably.
So let's go back to the traveling time. So let's see, after you didn't travel anymore after you had kids?
Not necessarily. So we did that big trip with the junior highs. And then I got to go to New Orleans again. And then my husband and I went to Scotland for one of his friends married an English girl. And they got married in Scotland, and then they moved to England. And so we went over to Scotland for that, which was amazing. Once again, I wasn't into vlogging then, though, so I hardly have any videos of it, which is so sad.
So and then we went to Iceland. Is that the video that you have recently? Or that's from your most recent trip? Because you were with friends like in the canal.
That was Venice.
Was that recent?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So yeah, we did Scotland, and then I got pregnant with my daughter, and we did a baby moon or whatever it's called in Iceland, Iceland's probably my favorite country that we've been to so far. And
now, why do you say that's your favorite?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like another planet out there.
Really?
I don't know. It's hard to describe because Iceland is basically just a plug in a volcanic, what do you call it? Tube, I guess. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah.
Coming up from,
I don't know a whole lot about Iceland.
Well, there's the Earth's crust, and then there's the magma layer, and there's like a tube basically that comes up from the magma to the Earth's crust, and Iceland is a plug on that tube. That's really all it is. It's just an island plug, and they're like, it could blow up any day. We watched a documentary, and we looked at each other, and we're like, we need to go there.
Oh my! So what do you do there?
There are waterfalls everywhere. So it's like it has a whole upper region where it's all glaciers and mountains, and then cliffs, and then there's the flat plateau that goes around the outside of the island. So there's waterfalls all over the island. Amazing rock formations.
Is it warm, cold? I mean, Iceland, I'm assuming it's freezing there. What, is it not?
Well, we went in the summer and we camped. We packed backcountry camping equipment in our suitcases, and because it can be expensive. So we camped. I was 4 months pregnant, and we camped all around Iceland. We camped under waterfalls. It was gorgeous. And then
now,
because of the way
videos on your channel.
Yeah, I do have lots of Iceland
I'll have
videos.
to check those out. I'm definitely going to have to go back and
because the way it was formed, there's all these lava fields. So there's all these bubbly, misshapen rocks, and they have this layer of moss that's probably like this thick on it. And the moss turns a white gray when it's dry, and then when it rains, it just turns green. It's just like an alien place, and it's so beautiful. So
yeah,
if you want to go anywhere, Kathy, you should go there.
Really? Well, you know what? I don't really have a desire to travel outside of the country or anything, but I always said if I went somewhere, I think I'd want to go to Switzerland.
Oh, that would be nice.
Have you ever been there?
I have not. I have some students when I was teaching that they had family in Switzerland, and they'd go every year, and she'd come back with pictures for me, and it just looks so
breathtaking. Beautiful. Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I'm imagining Iceland. I'm going to have to even Google a picture of Iceland. I've never even.
I think you can't even picture it. It's just so otherworldly.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to check out your videos on that.
Yeah.
I missed a question earlier in the chat, and forgive me, I'm not sure who it was. It may have been Dwayne. He wanted to know who your favorite travel celebrity is. If you're still here and you put that question in again, I don't know how far it was.
Oh, who is your favorite celebrity travel person?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch a ton of big channels. I used to really like Lost LeBlanc. Christian LeBlanc, or not, yeah, Christian is his name, but he just, I don't want to speak too badly because I might offend somebody out there that loves him, but he just did a video on Mexico, and he's supposed to be like this travel guy that stays anywhere and everywhere, and he was so disgusted because there was algae in the water by Tulum, and there was no Wi-Fi at his resort, so he couldn't just do like work anywhere. And I had never heard such like an entitled rant. And I was like, you're supposed to be representing travel and like going out there, and I don't know.
Yeah, so
when you travel, you're supposed to be used to sacrifices, and you're supposed to be open to something new, and you're not supposed to be grossed out by every little thing.
So does he review places? Is that what he does?
Yeah, well, he's a nomad, right? So they just go everywhere, and he's super rich because his YouTube channel has done really well. So he started out staying in hostels and camping and that sort of thing, and now he stays at resorts, and now he has people that film for him.
Wow,
and
that's nice.
His videos have changed because now it's a lot of his girlfriend in her bathing suit with butt shots, and
of course,
I used to really like him, and I find he's gotten way commercial. And then his last video where he ranted about like, oh, there's algae in the ocean. I'm like, that doesn't mean the place is horrible. And so he was my hero, and now he no longer is.
Now you have to find a new one.
Yeah. And I like Peter McKinnon, but he's not really a travel guy. But when he does travel, he makes gorgeous travel videos.
Yeah, I hear his name a lot, but I don't even know his channel. I've never.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a Canadian.
A few months ago when people were talking about Casey Neistat, and I'm the one going, who's that? Because I don't watch their channels either. No, so
I don't watch a lot of the big YouTubers. Just they're so impersonal. I like the small YouTuber community because you can leave a comment, they'll answer back, they'll come see your stuff, make a connection. But the big YouTubers, they don't even see their comments. They don't read them. So
yeah, and I know I've tried to communicate with them when we first started networking, and
and even if someone responds, it's not necessarily them because they have a whole team that does that stuff for them. So
yeah, that's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. Someone else commented wanting to suggest, asked if you went on cruises. I think it was. Have you done cruises?
I haven't, but I want to so bad. My husband is not into cruises at all.
I've never been on a cruise either. I don't know if I would want to do that, though. I would be afraid I'd get seasick, because then what if you don't know if you're seasick or not? And then you spend all this money and you get on this boat and now you're ruined.
And my husband gets seasick.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you know? I guess you would know if you had motion sickness. It's the same thing, I guess. So
yeah, so I'd have to do it on a girls' trip, I think, because yeah, like Joey went he went to Mexico for a friend's wedding. I didn't get to go that time. But they went.
New girl trips.
I love girl trips.
Me too. Me too. In 2014 was my first one. I went to Vegas for an actual YouTube meetup.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I've done two. I did a Florida meetup. I ran a half marathon in Florida, and a lot of other people were training. YouTubers were training for a half marathon, and we all met and ran together. So that was a fun meetup. And then I went to Vegas with 24 YouTubers. That was interesting.
I would like to do Vegas for a YouTuber meetup. That would be so fun. So
yeah, I'd never been to Vegas. And like I said, that was the first time that I had to fly by myself and get a cab. So that was nerve-wracking. But I FaceTimed and got to know other YouTubers. So there was like a group, about 4 or 5 of us, that figured out how to make our flights be around the same time so that we could all meet at the gate and get a cab together to the hotel. And so that was more of an ease for me, because I was like, I don't know how to get from the gate to my hotel. Like, what do I do?
You call your hotel and you get them to just get you the shuttle bus, and they shuttle you to your hotel.
Yeah, that created anxiety for me. So I don't know. I haven't done that since. But if I do travel, I'm with my husband. So that was scary for me.
There's lots of things though that are designed to help people like you that don't normally travel, just make it so much easier. Like most hotels do airport shuttles. So the moment you land, you find a courtesy phone at the airport, you call the hotel, they send a shuttle. And usually it's free or it's included in the hotel fee. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, another girlfriend that I become really good friends with on YouTube, she lives in South Carolina, but she was traveling for a business trip to Arizona 2 years ago, and she invited me to go along with her because she gets not seasick. She gets my brain can't even think.
Car sick?
No, she bloats and gets real swollen after being on a flight, and she had to do a whole stage presentation. So she booked her flight like 2 days before the presentation so that when she arrived, she could get through her bloat.
Time to shrink it.
So she's like, do you want to come along with me and just have fun? And I'm like, yeah. So I flew, but she's a travel. She does, I am having trouble with my words this morning. She is an event planner, an event coordinator. So she travels a lot. So she had a driver come and pick me up at the airport. So I got off the plane and felt like a princess because I had a sign waiting for me, and he took my bag and rolled it out the door, and I got in a very nice vehicle, and he drove me right to her resort. So I was like,
I've never had anyone standing there for me with a sign before.
Yeah, that was really cool. So, but she knew my anxiety and she knew my virginity about getting cabs. And so she's like, I'm going to take everything and get it all taken care of for you. And I was like, thank you.
Awesome.
Kit Kat, hi. Oh man, I'm working, so I can't chat, but I'm listening. Thank you for coming, Cassie.
Oh.
Ability Mom of Two says, I'm not sure, Marty, I get real sick.
I told her she had to come on a girls' cruise with us, but I guess not. Yeah, I was going to say, like, my husband, he went out deep ocean fishing, where they go, like, way out in the ocean, they do fishing.
And he gets sick?
He got so sick, they didn't have to use the chum bucket. They just used his stuff.
He was talking about a patch. My father-in-law is calling me. I'm sorry, I got a phone call. Angel says and she was telling Ralph that she uses a patch. Oh, okay. Ralph said there's a patch you wear behind your ear. So that's interesting. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I might have
to know if it makes you sleepy.
Yeah.
Tell us more. Tell us more, Ralph. Hi, Kay. Thank you for joining.
That might be the key to getting my husband to do a cruise. That's the only reason he doesn't want to go on one.
Yeah. So this is real. My father-in-law has dementia. He only knows how to FaceTime. And if I ignore this one more time, so beware, okay? I have to answer this phone call real quick.
Okay.
I may have to mute it. Hello. Hey, I'm in an interview right now. Can I call you later?
Only thing I want is you to buy me some tissue paper, okay?
Okay. I think you have some. You have some by your nightstand.
little boxes back in my bedroom, they're not very big. I need them back there, okay?
Okay, I'll get you some.
What?
I'll go get you some later today, okay?
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. I love you.
I love you, love you, love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Sorry about that.
He sounds so sweet.
Oh, he's calling me again. Right, this might go on for a few minutes.
I'll chat amongst
Hi.
some people.
Are you okay?
Yes, but I don't know. I can't shut this thing off. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Can't shut it off.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, where were we? I'm sorry about that. That's
We were talking
when you're live, right?
We're talking about the patch.
The
I'm just
patch.
asking Ralph what it's called.
It did not get sleepy. So that's interesting.
Kenny's here from Happy Trails Hiking.
Yeah.
I'm not going on a cruise.
Talking about meeting, I'm meeting Kay tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Kay and I,
You guys are close to each other?
we live fairly close. We're about an hour away, and we've discovered that through interacting in live streams. And so we decided that, well, we've been talking about a meetup for almost 6 months, I think. And we finally just said, you know what, let's do it. So
You
yeah.
are obviously vlogging this, right? So we can all see.
Yes, I'm sure we are. We're going to have lunch tomorrow. So
Nice.
yeah.
So exciting.
Yay. So the patch, you got to look into the patch for your husband. What happened when he was on his deep sea diving trip?
Oh, he threw up the whole time, and they used his vomit as bait.
Okay, I must have missed that if you said that earlier.
Yeah, and he said he's never going again. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, he can't even go backwards on like the LRT, or is that what you guys call them, the LRT?
I don't know. What is
Whatever,
that?
like the subway trains in the city.
Oh,
He can't
yeah.
even go backwards without getting sick.
Oh,
So
no.
he can't read. He can't read a package in the car if he's a passenger. He'll get sick. So he just doesn't want to do
Definitely
it.
need to look into that patch.
Yeah.
Does he take like Dramamine or something?
No. He always has to be the driver, which I'm fine with, because when we travel, I don't like driving in a foreign country, so I'm fine to let him drive.
Right.
To call him again.
Dwayne says, my maternal grandfather had Alzheimer's. He was diabetic. He got Alzheimer's at 87. Lasted almost 10 years. Wow. 97 when he died. His son-in-law, my uncle, had dementia. Lived to age 87. Aw, wow. 10 years though. It's tough. My father-in-law will be 87 in April, and I'm his caretaker. So right now we have about 5 cameras set up in his home, and we all can watch him. My husband and his sister-in-laws and myself, but I'm the one that lives a mile away. So, and I am not working outside of the home, so I can respond to him right away. But we keep an eye on him with cameras, and he lives alone, but it's getting to where we're going to have to make a decision soon. He continues to call me, but I am.
Does he live alone?
He does know. I think he's just having trouble shutting the iPad off. I think it's on automatic redial right now.
Because yeah, the call only lasts for a second. So he lives alone in his house?
He does. Yeah. Yeah. He's still calling me again. I always say I'm going to make a YouTube channel just about that.
Just do a series.
Do
When
a
my
whole-
father-in-law calls.
Yeah. I had to laugh because we were talking about it, and I've made a lot of videos with him, but my husband's like, I think they already have a channel called the Krabby Grandfather or Krabby Grandpa or something.
He didn't sound crabby.
Oh no, he's fine. He just
Oh,
yeah,
Dwayne's dad is 89.
he has his moments. So, does anybody else have more questions for Marti about her travel? I'm loving learning about. What's your favorite trip? You said Iceland is your favorite country, but what has been your favorite trip?
I think probably, well, I love New Orleans. My very first time down to New Orleans was fantastic because we went on, it was St. Patrick's Day when we went.
Oh,
And they put on
wow.
quite a good show down there. And I actually got I got kidnapped onto one of the floats by this drunk guy and let off. Yeah, we were on the street collecting as many beads as we could whilst still keeping our shirts on, may I add. We did not have to do anything untowards, but we were having a competition, these 3 girls and I. We were trying to see who could get the most beads by the end of the parade. And I was hollering to this guy on a float to hand me, like he had a big fistful of beads. And I was like, give me all the beads, give me all your beads. And he's like, you got to come get them. So I walked towards him to get these beads and he grabbed my arm and pulled me up onto the float. And he was like, stay here and wave for a while. He was really drunk. And so I was like, okay, it was kind of cool. So I stayed on the float, but it was like 5 blocks before he'd let go of me. And finally some guy like yelled at him to let go of me. And so I got down. I had no idea where I was. But at least there was like, it was a parade line. So I knew I was just straight down in this direction.
The parade. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
this was a
but I won the bead competition because I got all of his beads. So
oh, what a great memory though.
That was fun. And then I also really enjoyed, I went to Mexico by myself one year because spring break happens during Joey's tax season. So he can never go anywhere during spring break. And I was feeling sorry for myself because everybody else was going somewhere. So I told him, I'm going to go. I'm just going to go somewhere. And he was like, fine. This was before kids. And so I went down to Cancun for a few days.
I lost
you.
For really fun. Oh, there you are. Sorry. I lost you. I couldn't see you.
Still here. Yeah, it was fun by myself. I really enjoyed it. I met a mother and daughter couple that were down there. And the daughter's name was Marti as well. And I've never met another woman named Marti in my whole life. So it was Marti and Marti. And yeah, we went catamaraning out to Isla Mujeres, and I did a trip to Chichen Itza by myself. I just got on a tour bus, and I went dolphin swimming by myself. And
now, why did you go on this trip?
I just wanted to go somewhere. I didn't want to be marking by myself at home all spring break while my husband was working tax season.
This is before kids.
Yes.
Okay.
So. And it was good. It was my first solo trip anywhere, and I really enjoyed it.
That's cool. Now, do you have those videos on your channel?
Not really. No, that was well before I was vlogging.
You should put them on there if you still have it. You could do a little edit of it.
I think mostly have photographs. I don't really have any video.
You should make a slideshow.
I should, yeah. The dolphin
wants to know, what are your thoughts on Rick Steves and Anthony Bourdain? I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Bourdain? Anthony Bourdain?
Oh, Bourdain.
I like Rick Steves. Rick Steves, he's kind of just like this guy that somehow stumbled into travel, and he still can't quite believe that he's making travel documentaries. He's very down to earth. I do like Rick Steves. He's a British. Have you seen him?
No, I don't. You know, I don't watch a lot of. I watched ATJH Travels and you, and I think there's a couple other travel channels that I am connected with.
Oh yeah, Rick Steves is an older British guy that goes around. He does travel documentaries, and he just walks around town and goes and eats some food. And I like his style. He just seems like somebody who isn't still quite sure that how he became a travel documentary guy. I like him. And then Anthony Bourdain, you either love him or you hate him. And I don't want to speak too bad about him because he actually recently passed away. But
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's more like a food travel guy. He worked for the Travel Channel. I found him a little cocky and condescending personally, but he did put on a good show.
He's on PBS. Happy Trails is a travel channel. Yeah, you're right. You guys do. You travel all around different trails and different state parks and things, and that's really cool. Yeah.
Ralph, don't talk
I guess you
about
could be a travel channel even if you just have to drive and park, like she said. Just park and travel.
Yeah. Just show people places they've never been, and you're a travel channel. So.
Yeah, that is cool. And I enjoy that because I don't travel. I don't go different places. Heck, I don't.
Like you've been quite a few places.
You know, it's been hit or miss. I mean, and that's maybe 5 places in 20 years. So
well, like you've been to Jamaica. I haven't been to Jamaica. You've been to Hawaii. I haven't been to Hawaii.
Yeah.
You said you were just in Florida.
Yeah, Florida is the last place we went 2 years ago. We are going to Indiana this weekend. So here I'm talking about I don't go anywhere, and we're actually you have to
go more places than me right now.
Well, it's because finally I don't have young kids. I mean, Jesse just turned 11 and we're like, okay, it's time. So yeah, I don't travel. I'm going to Indiana this weekend. I'm going to Mexico in April.
There you go.
I'm putting my foot in my mouth.
This has been enlightening for you.
There you go. Let's see. Ralph's Trucking and More says he travels too. 3,000 plus a week.
Well, Ralph trucks all over the place. So,
Ralph, do you vlog from your trucks? I used to follow a truck driver channel. It was really interesting. It was a female truck driver, and she used to vlog, and you could see the cab behind her, and she used to just talk while she drove. Dwayne says, even in the city where you live, there can be great places to see. And happy trails. Kay says we're heading to California parks in March, and we show off local parks all the time. Yeah, Kay brings me places because she's in the St. Louis area as well, and she brings me places I've never even been, and I live here. So, hey, Pritch Band, welcome, Sarah. Thanks for coming.
That's a lot of the stuff that the kids and I do is a lot of local travel. So we'll drive to places within a couple hours of where we live, and we'll do museums or we'll do parks. Or
yeah, you even took us to the swimming water park where you had to do, there was an accident in the pool. That was funny. That was very funny.
We were actually on Friday, in 2 days, we were supposed to go to this lake up north called Abraham Lake, and it's a lake that it must have a lot of like fossil deposits and stuff at the bottom because it releases a lot of methane, and all the methane bubbles get frozen in the ice, and so all the ice is filled with these gorgeous bubbles. And so I was gonna go do that on Friday, but now it's supposed to snow a bunch on Friday, so.
We're supposed to, wow, you're getting snow too. We are too.
Yeah.
We've got 1 to 3 inches, 90% chance. So I'm hoping we get out of here before it hits. So did you guys hear my dog barking like crazy? Somebody walked in and I'm not sure. Oh, it's my husband.
You're not getting spotted. Good.
Yeah. It was crazy. When Marty and I first connected on our stream this morning, I was saying that I was on a live stream with another YouTuber last night, and he got swatted. So that was very, very scary. So I was checking everyone check your Google settings, make sure that all your privacies are, locked down, and because there's some silly game being played now, a new trend on YouTube where you call the cops on the person live streaming and have them show up at your house. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. So that's my husband. I'm safe. Let's see. Ralph says it was 83 in Florida yesterday and 55 today. It's crazy. That's Missouri weather.
I'm trying to calculate in my head.
And coast the next.
What is that in Celsius? I don't know how to do the conversion.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Can someone else? What is 83 degrees in Florida? 83 Celsius. I guess I could Google it or ask Siri. See if somebody beats me in the chat with that.
I used to know what the conversion rate was, and I can't think of it right now. About 26 degrees, says Pritch Fam.
Okay.
That's really nice. It was minus 24 today.
Well, I can tell you, like on a thermostat level, 68 to 70 degrees is like normal. Beautiful,
okay.
Not need a jacket, not be too hot in the sun. So.
Yeah, it's so cold here. My kids, we got an email this morning that the kids weren't playing outside for recess because it was too cold.
Yeah, that's going on here too as well. Yeah, it's very cold. It's the wind. I can handle cold weather. It's the wind that I don't like. So you have to, I'm sure account for that when you're traveling. Do you look at the forecast before you leave and what to pack and all that?
Always. I'm usually cold no matter where we go. Like I even pack jeans when we go to like Mexico and stuff because I know at some point I'm going to be cold. So
oh, wow.
I always have a pair of jeans, always. But yeah.
Now I know airports are cold, so they always say to put layers or to wear layers when you're at the airport so you can take them off. Mm-hmm. Is that what you recommend?
When I fly, I pack my heaviest, warmest, or I wear my heaviest and warmest stuff. So if I'm gonna have jeans with me, I'll wear the jeans. If I'm gonna have a hoodie, I'll take the hoodie with me. If I want boots, then I wear the boots on the plane. I always pack my heaviest and not pack, no. I always wear the heaviest and warmest stuff so that it's not taking up space in my suitcase. That's my big tip.
Oh, wow. Now, see, that is something I wouldn't think of. I would think to wear like flip-flops or something. So do you have to still take your shoes on and off? I thought.
Mm-hmm. But you have time while you're waiting in security to take your boots off. It's not like it has to be a rush thing. But because then you have more room in your suitcase. You don't have to worry about it weighing more. And you know you're going to have room for souvenirs on the way home.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's my advice.
I remember when my boys were young, and that was our first trip, and we took them to Cancun, and I purchased, not expensive, but I bought them all the same color t-shirts, like those Hanes t-shirts that you can get like the same color. So our photos look ridiculous because I was so afraid of losing my 3 boys, and they're wild boys, let me tell you. But that, you know, Monday they wore a yellow t-shirt, on Tuesday they wore a red t-shirt, on Wednesday they wore a white one. And it's so funny to look at our photos because I've got these 3 boys, all with crew cuts, all wearing the same solid color t-shirt.
No, that was Tuesday.
We laughed so hard today at those photos because I'm like, Mom, why did you dress us like that? I'm like, because I needed to know if I lost you, I could say there are 3 boys with a yellow t-shirt on.
I'm looking for one more that looks like these 2.
Oh my gosh.
So it's actually smart because if you lose one, you've got one for reference for people to.
Oh my God. And I was so afraid of sunburning too. So I bought the Under Armour wet, dry shirts. So when they swam in the ocean, I wouldn't have to sunscreen their bodies. And I bought for my husband too. So they're all out there in these wet Under Armour ski-like type suits, and they're all matching. Oh my goodness. Ah.
Sounds cute.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It's
Marie from Unapologetically Gomes is here.
Oh, hi, thank you. We have a message that was retracted. I don't know if Dwayne just did that as on. I'm not doing very good moderating here, but at LAX, we are always rushed. LAX, are you near
LAX? Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking, I knew that.
Yeah, that's a big airport, though. It's hard not to be rushed at LAX.
Ralph wants to know, can we pre-check now to fly easier? Like pre-check-ins online and stuff? I think you can, right? Now they have where you can you even have an app where it'll tell you if your flight's delayed, right?
Yeah, you can go and you can use the little kiosks and check in, and they'll even print out your baggage tags and everything. You can have all that done before you don't even have to walk up to the lady. I think if you have no problems with the kiosk, you can put your baggage tag on and send it away. I don't even think you have to go stand in line and talk to the lady.
So I know you said when most of your videos are of the location and your experience there. Have you ever vlogged your way there, like how you check into the airport and how you've packed for it and all that stuff?
Yeah, I have a video on packing, especially like packing lighter. So I have one where like I take a big full suitcase and I condense it and then I pack it into a carry-on. So I try to teach you how to pack a little smaller. I wish I would take my own advice when it came to trips.
I'm gonna be watching that when we get ready for our April trip.
And then I did vlog when we went to London. I did vlog our way there, but I didn't vlog in the airport because airport personnel don't really like having the camera shoved in their face. So I didn't vlog us checking in or anything, but.
Yeah, I have a hard time. Well, when I vlog, it's all with my phone. So I have a hard time walking around like this.
Yeah, me too. I usually have mine on my stabilizer. So it's like this whole setup and it feels really weird walking around with that.
Yeah. My son just walked in the door. I'll probably have to start ending my live soon now because now I've got 2 busybodies and noisemakers in the house. So, but we've gone for a little over an hour, so that's good. I made it this far. Dwayne says, I saw Teletype News once. It had the temperatures for the Canadian cities once for a date like July 15 at 12 p.m. It said Montreal 288, blooper, The next hour it said Montreal 29. Oh,
if anyone's still alive after that day.
288. Yeah, that's a big difference between 29. Ralph says TSA pre-check pay $85 for 5 years to bypass most security. So 85. So you pay $85, and for the next 5 years you can bypass security. That seems crazy, because especially with the way security is with countries and visas, and I guess that's if you're traveling within the same.
That's that Nexus pass, I think. Is that what you're talking about, Ralph? The Nexus pass? Because there's usually a separate line for the Nexus pass holders, but I've never bothered to look into it because I'm too cheap to pay for. I'd rather just stand in the security line for free.
Yeah. So what are hours wise when you do go to your airports and stuff? What do you recommend?
I go 3 hours in advance for an international flight.
Okay. Wow.
So if we're leaving at 3 p.m., I get there by noon. And then for just like intercontinental.
Would Cancun be considered international?
Yes.
Okay.
I consider it international, but
I am definitely going to be checking out your channel soon for tips and things like that, because
I don't have too much on Cancun, sadly, but on the blog has lots on Cancun.
Okay.
Blog would be better for that.
Very good then. Down the happy trails hiking is to you. I need to get back to work. Okay, both of us. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, I look forward to it, and I'll have my camera.
So Pritch Fam says it's fast pass security, but I think here in Canada we call it the Nexus pass, Nexus. So I wonder if they're just the same thing, different name.
Okay, and Ralph says TSA in the States.
And Pritch Fam got married in
Cancun. Oh, very cool. Do you have? It's funny. We all, a lot of us have been married for several years and stuff, but we don't have that kind of stuff on our channel because we just started, in the last 5-8 years or whatever. But I've often thought about putting that stuff on my camera because I have a whole playlist of my children, but I don't have like a playlist of, my life growing up or my husband and I getting married and things like that. So I may do that.
I have kind of a wedding video on my channel because we're only technically married in Costa Rica. We never bothered to make it legal here in Canada. So really? I did a little video.
I need more details.
I did a little video on that just to give people some heads up that you need to be more prepared than we were. Because we didn't have anything organized before we went down. We kind of had a lawyer lined up, the same lawyer that sold my father-in-law his house. So we trusted her, and she was a justice of the peace. And she organized the hairdresser and the photographer for us, so we didn't even know who they were. And it was like a semi-elopement. And so we went down to Costa Rica. We stayed at our father-in-law's house. And yeah, we got married on the beach in Spanish. We didn't have any, like, our witnesses were the photographer and the hairdresser who only spoke Spanish. We just met them that day.
So where were your children born? So your children are born and you're not married?
Well, we're common law here in Canada. But
but you don't.
We are married. We have a wedding certificate.
Well, I know, but I'm like, how does that work? Like what if, I guess you don't need to be married like for health reasons or anything. If your children get sick or if something happens to them,
common law in Canada, at least, common law is considered legal. Like if we start filing taxes together as a common law couple, we are legally a couple. So we still get the same rights and stuff as a married couple. Right. But yeah, we came back.
That's very interesting though. That's kind of funny. Can you imagine your kid having to write a paper about their mom and dad or something, and like your kids at school? My mom and dad aren't married here.
We're married somewhere. We have a Spanish wedding. Well, we came back and because all of our paperwork's in Spanish, and so I took it into the registries, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't use this. You have to get it translated by a legal translator. You can't just get like your friend who knows Spanish to do it, and then you have to get it notarized." And the cost was between $500 to $3,000, and I think it was like, because we don't really have anybody in the area, I would have had to gone to a bigger city, and I was like, that's triple what our wedding cost. Like,
wow.
Like our wedding itself cost $300 plus flight, and my wedding dress was $100. So I was like, I'm not paying that.
Yeah.
So.
No, that totally makes sense. That's just very interesting. I think that's a very interesting story. I'm glad you
Had we been more prepared, we could have had the paperwork ready in Canada before we even left. And then we would have just showed up with the certificate and it would have been good, but we didn't know. So wow. I did make a video on it to help people.
I'll have to definitely. But it's fun because when you first connect with somebody's channel, for me, I usually just go from that forward, but it's fun to go back in the channels and start digging in once you get to know the person more on a personal level. So
yeah, it's a good memory. It's a good story.
That is a good story. Pritch Fam says, I did have my documentations translated from Spanish to English, so that's something right. Because she knew
what she was doing.
She's got the same situation that happened with her. That's pretty cool.
We just showed up and assumed that it would all work out, but oh, see, she's not legally married in the UK either.
That's right. That's what she said. That's very cool. So I'm going to probably have to eventually wrap this up, but I wanted to find out if there's anything more that we haven't covered that you wanted to talk about today.
Me personally?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think so. This was just a nice way to spend the morning, to be honest.
Yeah. What time do you have to pick up your kids for school?
In about 40 minutes, I'll take off and go get them. They're having their Valentine's Day party this morning, so they were very excited to go.
They're not in the same grade, but do they go where? Oh.
They're in the same play school class. And then next year my daughter will start kindergarten and my son will stay in his play school class.
Oh wow. What are their ages? They're really close.
They are. Parker's 3 and Abby just turned 5 and Parker's going to be 4 pretty soon. So they're only 17 months apart.
That's my brother and I. One of my brothers. I have 4.
17's our lucky number. My daughter's birthday is the 17th. My son's birthday is the 17th, and they are 17 months apart. So easy to remember.
Wow, that is very cool. Isn't that neat? I like numbers. Numbers are, I'm a numbers. I don't like math, but I like things like that work out.
Numerology, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Dwayne, thank you. Thank you. He says this was awesome. Cheers, everyone. I'm so happy that you were here. You made it a lot of fun. And Ralph, too, with your questions. Thank you, guys. Sarah, thank you for coming. I don't know who else is here. Angel, you've been great help moderating. Thank you. And I'm scrolling up. And Kay, I don't know if I think Kay had to leave as well.
Yes,
she said goodbye earlier. So, but thank you so much, Marty, for coming and being my very first guest to my new series. Angel came on last week and helped me kick it off. And this was my first topic guest. So it was fun. I do want to welcome anyone else who is interested to please look in the description box below is my Twitter handle. And if you want to send me a direct message so I can set up a time where we can bring you up and talk about whatever it is that you are interested in talking about, because this is real talk and it could be a gamut of topics. So, and Angel, thank you. It was fun. I really enjoyed it too, Marty. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for asking me. It's good.
All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and sign off, and I'm going to go check out your channel. Remind me, I said there was I wanted to check out your packing thing for Flying International and the Iceland. Is it on the playlist?
Yep, there is a playlist for it.
And it's just titled for Iceland, or do I have to go down and search anything? Or
no, if you go into the playlist tab, there's one that's just called Iceland. And then I do have one that's travel advice, and the packing one should be in there. So.
Okay, perfect. Oh, Patsy's still here. Thank you, Patsy. She hadn't been chatting. Dwayne says, I was on Twitter. My account it got knackered last June. Oh, no, 5,000 followers. That's a bummer.
Break your heart.
Aw. So are you not on Twitter at all? Did you open up a new account, Dwayne? Unknown Trail is still here. Thank you, Unknown Trail. Unknown Trail is a beautiful channel. You guys check it out. Lots of different hikes. and nature videos. And one of my favorites that he most recently did was hiking in the snow, which I'm not.
Nothing to do.
But I would love to hike in the snow, like in the woods, hiking in the woods in the snow. So beautiful.
I like snowshoeing.
Patsy says, I can't spend my whole day online, Miss Kathy. You could not get back on Twitter. Oh, that's a shame, Dwayne. Not even if you set up a different account? That's a shame. Kisses to Patsy from Angel. All right. Yep, that's a wrap. I keep saying I'm going to, and then I get to talk. Thank you so, so much.
Thanks for having me, Kathy. You have a great day.
Take care, and I'll see you guys next week, hopefully.
Sounds good.
Bye.